choose to love where freedom flies. From my heart where the light keeps shining. And I choose to feel the whole world crying for the strength that we can rise above. I choose love.
Hi, and welcome back. As we are in this holiday season, Andreas is not with us today because he's with family and having a blast on the holiday, and I hope that you are as well. However, I do have something that's been rising on my heart that I do want to share in the nature of what grace healing really is. And there's a lot of misperception of what we are to people and how we serve each day, but I want to open up by saying that these past years of being a service to people has just been amazing. It's been an amazing learning process and the opportunity to really see where other people are in their beliefs and those portions of their beliefs that empower them, those portions of their beliefs that hamper them or limit them, and actually helping people to find ways to bring increase into their lives. And I'd like to state for the benefit of all people that do more recently have been becoming involved with grace healing, reaching out, gaining insight, gaining spiritual instruction and prayers of healing, actually many people being healed lately. So we are here to help you. And we at Grace Healing are not a church. We are not tied to a church or a religion of man. We are what you could describe as a safe ground for people on a spiritual journey. And we walk alongside one another while helping each other to embrace the attributes and nature of God while on our spiritual journey or a person's religious walk. In all humility, we don't want to limit any religious practice a person has on their journey. It's our call to help refine a worldly perspective or our responses to reflect the nature and attributes of God in every setting. It is our call to walk with others of every faith. And in us, within Grace Healing, we hold one covenant. We hold one covenant to the love of God first, above all associations or ties to thoughts of man or any lesser or spiritual influences that we might encounter upon this earthly journey. We do not wish to divert a person from their path of religious understanding or religious expression, but we are here to assist each person to increase in the nature of God, the gifts given to us through Yeshua, that they might recognize their place as God's holy presence, as God's holy attributes, to do more than just reflect the light of God's presence, but to actually become the light of God's presence. And right now, this is kind of like a little mused process rising over the past few days, especially as we approach this year end. You know, you get a lot of the prognosticators coming up for the new year and everybody talking about the new me and all that stuff. At this time in history, there's a lot of dialogue milling about relating to astronomical alignments and many things presently unfolding, from the dark band of existence moving into the golden light, or the golden band of light, as the cosmos shifts to the other side of the sun, centered on the Milky Way galaxy. And then I've heard people fighting, no, that's not right now. It's not coming for another 1,000 years. And I've watched people as they've digressed into this place of argumentative state of what's going on in the galaxy. In all humility, it really does not matter which band we are in. If we are in the band of darkness, as they describe it, then we can choose to be the attributes and nature of God, and we will be the light of God, reflecting, manifesting, being the light of God in that band of darkness. If we are the band of golden light, as described by many prognosticators right now when they're just talking about the end of the dark age and the beginning of the light age, then we choose the nature of God within the light to align ourselves with the nature of the living light present within both time cycles. And as I mentioned, I mean, there's some writings coming out. You'll see them on Facebook. You'll see them on YouTube broadcasts and all this stuff, talking about the 21st of December marks the end of the dark age and the 3D matrix timelines and moving into the 4D and 5D. And honestly, I just believe that this becomes a distraction. And again, in the deepest humility, I am not suggesting that your path might be the wrong one, but I'm offering that there is a thread of truth present here into how things are shifting in the cosmos. However, in my walk, on my spiritual journey, I'm not led to focus on these matters, but I am led to focus and choose the love of God no matter what stage of existence we're in. To live in the truth of this love, whether it's the rise of the zombie apocalypse or the end of one era moving to become another. And I know within my heart that our God is omnipresent, omnipotent. We've shared that in other videos. And God does already hold the image of all things blessed in the result of creation set anew. The new heaven, the new earth, all the things that we've heard described through different religious beliefs. In this, if I keep my heart centered on living God nature, God wisdom, the godly light as things unfold, I will not be drawn down the rabbit holes formed of man's limited perspectives in times of change. I will become, or I'll emanate or reflect divine light in the band of darkness, or remain aligned with the light as creation unfolds in the higher state. Either way, God first manifests in our experiences. And I would ask you a couple questions here. What if we sought God first, even above definitive constructs we have formed to describe humanity? What if there is a deeper description of the human form than a vessel formed with chakras and other centers to focus on? What if the construct of chakra is a distraction, just like this time shift in the cosmos? What if it is a distraction from the greater truth of Creator's living breath, preceding and making known each and every cell of your being? What if this simple construct would free you to know every part of your being emerging from source in each and every breath? Not this chakra, not how I'm governed by that chakra, not how I'm governed by this emotional state or govern that emotional state, centering upon God first. And I would ask, are you willing to let go of what you think you know as you embrace trust in our Creator to deepen you in greater understanding beyond the constructs of those others that are elevated to a place of sages among humanity? What if the sages of today are merely touching a portion of higher truth? And if you develop yourself in the seeking of God first, you would see that that portion of truth is guiding you to a greater truth. Are you open to seeking directly into Creator, or do you see yourself as being unworthy when God, Creator, has made you worthy? Are you seeking Creator directly through the gifts Yeshua gave us in direct access to Source, God? As you let go of what you think you know and move to greater truth than the thoughts considered by the higher thoughts of men, because even the higher thoughts of men are limited to the constructs of man? And what if the higher thoughts of man are actually a beginning thought to direct you toward Creator and not trap you in the limits of the offering? Can you allow yourself to let go of what you think you hold in your religious journey, in your spiritual journey, in the learning that you have gained through viewing things such as chakras, and remove yourself from the construct of separateness? Even the construct of chakra, if you allow that to be the definitive focus, you're describing separation. What if the very breath you breathe begins before the construct of each of your cells within your body? What if the living breath of divinity is the wholeness and totality of your being? What if the very breath of Creator is the living heaven present here and now? Not some place we need to attain, not some place we're going to go to after we die or we're birthed into new life. What if the living nature of heaven can be embraced when you let go of these constructs of separateness? What if the very breath what if the very breath of God's creation, God's breath, living spirit is present within you now, and that is the connecting point to the living reality that heaven is not some separate place, but heaven is the state of being as you witness things unfold in different places. What if the heavenly kingdom resides completely within you without limitation, but it can only be received fully if you're willing to let go of the constructs of the mind, the limitations of religious thought? This doesn't mean you have to let go of religion. You can still function within religion, but you do not need to be limited by its constructs. You can work with people, walk with people, love with people, raise them up in the traditions they choose to function within and embrace and share with one another. But don't let those become a stopping point for you. Let them be a way to magnify and increase your connection to Source, Yahweh, God and Creator. And I pray that this helps you in your journey, and look forward to hearing from so many more people making comments lately on the Facebook posts and on the gracehealing.video. If you go to the video, you'll find that you can access many of our episodes, 160 or 180 episodes or something of the different discussions we've had, Andreas and myself, Anna Marie and myself, and we look forward to serving you in any way that you feel led to reach. We are here, and again, we are not a church or a religious body. We are here to serve and walk alongside all people that reach out to Grace Healing, and we are hopeful that our times with you and the times in these videos would magnify your ability to become the living presence of God, and no longer just a reflection of God's presence, but a surrendering of self, so that God's full nature can manifest through you. That you would become, like as the native described, as like the hollow bone, that the smooth surface within the hollow bone becomes the conduit for God's presence to fully emerge through you. At times almost feeling like an automaton, moved by God's power, by God's grace, by God's will, to end up in places to serve in such a way that others find the remembrance of God's presence within them, and they are freed from the limitations or constructs they've embraced upon the earth. So we are here at Grace Healing to extend you love and a trust that this new year will bring you greater opportunity to engage in the fullness of trust, the clarity and wisdom that is God's presence within you, and to move into great abundance within your lives, both through health, finance, and relationships. We love you and look forward to hearing from you again. Take care. Be blessed.
Yeah.